It's not brain surgery. It's Sesame Street.
No, it's just brain injuries.
Yeah, right?
Do you want to know what it is, though? It's the
Final countdown.
Dun, 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 dun. So disappointed.
Because it goes straight to the dun-dun-dun-dun.
You sound like Vanilla Ice. Or it's like, no, there's an extra ding. Completely different song.
Yeah, hello. Ice Ice Baby does not sound anything at all like Under Pressure.
1 year to go. Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are
The NeuroNerds. Yes, that was on time.
I feel pretty good about that.
NeuroNerds.
So theories, what do you got?
Well, like,
Well, no,
can we first say hi to people? Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hello,
guys.
how you doing?
What's cracking?
I actually care about you. Joe just wants to get right into fandom, which I'm all about. But like, hello, how are you? Thank you for listening to us today.
We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Now back to theories.
That is true. So we discussed this last week. How?
Oh, wait, do you want to know why I like the hurry?
Why?
I had a brain injury. I don't know if you know this.
Oh God.
I don't know if I've mentioned it before.
He's only used that excuse 3 times today already.
Wait.
And I've been here for an hour and a half.
We've only been here an hour and a half, 3 times. It's not bad. So I had a brain injury. So like I had a thought in my head. I'm like, oh, run with it. Or like Kaiser Soze. It's gone.
It can just stay gone. Okay. No. So we discussed last week how April and May, I think, is basically going to fry all our brains. So if you don't have a brain injury, you might end up with one because literally that's going to be like the nerdgasm, I think, of the year. Because
it's like the pinnacle, the nerd pinnacle.
Kind of like dun, 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 this episode.
Oh,
I brought it back.
I see what you did there.
So we got lots coming out in April.
There's so much coming out this year.
Yes.
But like, it just seems like all the really amazing good stuff is coming out in April.
Yeah. Like literally, I'm like, everything's going to hurt and I'm going to have so many feelings.
Yes. It's going to be like, oh, this amazing character just debuted. And oh, this amazing character who I've loved for a decade is now dead.
From a different series.
Is now dead.
So like, here's what we got coming. Okay. You've got, I don't have any dates, so I don't know which one's coming out first.
I thought you were going to say mail.
What?
You've got mail.
Oh, except I was saying coming instead of got. Do with that as you will.
Hey, you're the one talking about nerdgasm. So it's on you. It's totally not me.
I don't have dates in front of me. So I mean, then that's the story of my life. But it was Valentine's Day, guys, and I'm single.
Hey, by choice.
Lack of options.
No, well,
yeah.
Again.
Moving on. So you have the first one is going to be Avengers Endgame.
Wait, is that the first or is Captain Marvel comes out?
No, I'm talking about April. I don't really care.
But no, I thought Captain Marvel comes out before Endgame.
It does, but like a month. It's like next month. That's not April starts with the letter A. Avengers.
I was like, you know what else starts with A? Avengers.
I know. He's trying to look all cute when he says Avengers. He's like, Avengers.
I'm not trying. I'm succeeding. I look adorable right now.
So you got Avengers Endgame, right? This is the end of phase 2, right? Or is the end of phase 3?
Phase 3. You know what? I don't even know.
I can't remember.
Phase 3, yes.
Yeah.
Because I have a theory of what phase 4 is going to be called.
Yes, and we've discussed this before. So it's the end. Anyways, so this is like the end. So talking about again how this is the end of our first year.
Boom.
Right?
So what you're saying is this is kind of like the end game.
This is the end game. It's an end of an era because you also have the end of Game of Thrones coming out too in April.
And that's like the end.
And that's the end until the next series comes out because there is new series coming out. Yeah, I know. So you got the end of the Avengers as we know it.
Yeah.
You have the end of Game of Thrones and whatever the hell happens to Westeros.
Yes.
You have Star Wars, the end of this trilogy.
Yeah.
Right? Episode 9.
Goodness.
Stop it.
I had so much high hopes.
Stop it.
Okay. Love so much.
We'll get into all this because we all have theories.
Dislike so much. It's also the end of DC. Well, no, that hasn't really started.
No, I was like, why would it be the end?
Because it's the end of an era with Batman because Batfleck just left.
Okay.
They're rebooting it again. So hopefully they get it right this time because like, I don't want to hate. I want there to be like a actual rivalry. Like teams and like things are at their best when they have rivals. Like the Lakers were at their best when their rivals were the Celtics,
Mhm.
right? Both teams were dope. Both teams were great. It brought out the best in one another. Right now, it's just Marvel. I want some DC thrown in there.
All right, so I just looked up like
The
what
nerd
other,
calendar?
yeah, like kind of like, well, it's not the nerd calendar, but like what else is being released. So you have, so like the ones we mentioned, then on top of that, It 2 is coming out. Frozen 2,
I could do without that.
I guess. No, that's in November. Why is this saying it's in April? So talking about things coming before April, like we said, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Lego Movie 2 is coming out.
Oh,
What else we got?
everything is awesome.
No, that's a horrible song.
What?
It's all about mediocrity.
It describes us, not the mediocrity part, the awesome part, right?
Stop it. Stop it.
Hey, so real quick, the NeuroNerds today, we got domestic.
Oh, yeah, we
We
did.
did. I made pancakes and Lauren made eggs because we are Renaissance people, right?
We
kinda do it all.
Oh, Hellboy, that new series
All right.
that looks ghetto as fuck. No.
Not excited about
Yeah.
that. Very upset. Ron Perlman was everything.
Yes.
This looks like butt.
I agree. I'm not going to be watching that.
Okay, so what are you most excited about out of all of these new things?
Well,
Is
I
it
was
the
going to talk
Avengers?
about your Friends movie that's coming out.
Oh shit! So I have a really good friend who is in this really scary movie called The Curse of La Llorona.
And then piggybacking off of last week, what else is coming out is John Wick 3 in May. And then just to piggy off what we're going to start talking about, though, about how awesome and how some of these shows are becoming more inclusive of brain injuries. Spider-Man 3 is coming out as well in July.
Oh yes.
Yes.
And I just saw Into the Spider-Verse. I got to tell you, it was probably the most magnificent thing to see on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the best Marvel movie so far.
It's really good. It's really, really good. So there was a brain injury scene where they mentioned, oh, here comes the brain injury. I don't think he said TBI. I think he just said brain injury. And then he dropped an anvil on Green Goblin's head. So I don't suggest anybody drops anvils on anybody's head.
We were going to try and recreate that, but we decided that it would just make my sessions with Joe worse.
That's true. And instead of hitting me in the head, she just decided to kick me in the knee twice.
Because he was harassing Felice.
I'm not going to lie. I absolutely was. So I didn't say I didn't deserve it.
Right.
I just said I was kicked in the knee twice.
But you know, what's really cool is like we're starting to see more and more inclusion of brain injuries. I feel like there was a trend. If anyone is a writer out there, you'll know, or if you're a movie enthusiast, you'll notice that there's trends that go on for a lot of shows or books that are trying to be more realistic, quote unquote realistic, or grimdark. What they did, like the key to make your character gritty in the past, like a generation before, not like a film generation, so maybe 10 years ago, was to make your hero alcoholic, right? That was their trial. That was their character flaw. Right. And that has now translated into, it was PTSD. You wanted to make your character be realistic? PTSD.
I think what's crazy?
Yeah.
You just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, was an alcoholic.
And what happened?
They transformed him into PTSD.
Transitioned him into having PTSD. That's
exactly.
crazy.
So that makes him more relatable to the times, right? Because that makes sense. Because what did we have around the time Iron Man 1 came out? We were embroiled in the war in Iraq and the Middle East and Afghanistan.
People were coming back.
Exactly. We had soldiers coming back. And so PTSD was kind of like, it's bad. It sounds bad, but like the new sexy like diagnosis.
Right. Oh, people are talking about this. We should make one of our characters have this. And it makes a lot of sense.
And I will say, for as much as like the shit was talked about Iron Man 3, right? But that was an exploration.
Honestly, so, okay. So I thought that movie was water trash.
Yeah.
Right. Fight me. It was terrible. His portrayal, like how he played off that, because I suffer from PTSD. It was oh man, it was great. No, but like his portrayal of it was brilliant. Like I was like, oh, I feel that.
Relatable and honest. So for the whatever problems Iron Man 3 had, and it had its share.
So many.
It had its share. Robert Downey Jr. is an amazing actor, and he has a lot of integrity in his acting as well. So he goes out of his way, like to really, I feel like he researches his roles very well. So his portrayal of PTSD and how someone like Iron Man would deal with it. Imagine, like, this man has more, like, as much money in the face of the planet, and he's super successful, but super famous, and he can't deal. Right. So that makes a lot of sense. And so that also goes through with like Infinity Wars and also with Endgame with how he deals. Like, he's going to be fucking trapped with Nebula by himself on that, the
Milano.
Thank you. I'm like making shapes at Joe's face. But can you imagine here he is alone, dying from what we see in the trailer. That's got to be rough. I mean, so that was like, and so like Batman, like Christopher Nolan's Batman, PTSD as well. There's an argument that the Joker, one of the theories was he was ex-military at one point, one of the possible origins, and he was an ex-soldier dealing with PTSD and lost it.
Right. I actually like that theory. I don't mind that at all. What I love about like what they've done with the trailers and the movie so far, like having PTSD, it's very isolating and you feel very isolated. If you ever notice, like when he's suffering most of these times, he's all by himself.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally isolated.
Yeah.
Not just like physically, yes, but like that's how you feel inside your mind. You feel like you're stuck in a spaceship a million miles away from everything all by yourself.
I feel like in certain cases, they've done a good job of replicating the inside of one's experience externally, right? Because sometimes it's hard to portray it. I mean, it's hard enough for us to articulate the issues that we feel within our brains, and then having to then, put that out into a visual medium.
Right.
So I think by literally isolating a character in an environment is a good metaphor, or it's a good translation.
Right. It's one of those things like you don't know how to describe it until like you kind of see it. And then like I saw it and I was like, oh yes, it's that. Whatever that is, that's what like I feel. That's what it feels like inside.
Right.
The same thing like when we're watching like when I was watching The Punisher and they had like a couple of things, I was like, oh yes, exactly what that is. The way they laid that out, that's exactly what it is inside. It's beautiful. It's beautiful storytelling.
Yeah. So now what I'm seeing, which has been really cool, is now we're moving away from PTSD as being the new sexy, woe is me, almost kind of like, this is my flaw as a character. Brain injuries are starting to become a thing. Right. So we have most people would never be like, ooh, you had a brain injury, you must be damaged, right? Like that wasn't a thing 10 years ago as like an explanation for why you as like a bad guy might have gone off the rails. Right. But like now we're starting to see some of our bad guys be, brain injury sufferers, and some of our good guys, some of our heroes. It's not
so cut and dry. It's like, oh, well, you're bad and you're good.
Exactly. It's all the gray.
There's so much gray.
Yeah.
There's so much gray. It's like, oh, I really, really like this guy, but he just did something horrendous.
Well, it's like we talked last week was Jigsaw.
Yes.
Right. But going towards a hero, now we have Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, I love Captain Marvel. I'm excited because
I'm lukewarm on Captain Marvel.
No. Let's be excited about Captain Marvel. Number one, strong female lead. Number two, Marvel's version of Superman. Come on. It's amazing. And technically, so you could say that she has brain injury too.
Yeah.
Right? Because like she has no memory.
Mm-hmm.
She has no memory from the accident that she had. And, like,
we don't discriminate about brain injuries here.
No. How weird would it be if we're like, oh, well, that doesn't count?
Yeah, it would literally be like, oh, that it's like, you can't sit with us.
Yeah, right. Oh, you had an acquired brain injury? Psst, this is only for the traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, right?
By the way, like I had an acquired brain injury. I don't think that's true. I gotta tell you, it's pretty traumatic to me. You know what I mean? I had somebody like break into my skull and drain my brain. That's traumatic. Yeah. I gotta tell you, I feel that I suffer from a TBI. I think we should like reestablish like what we call these things.
You want to like challenge the establishment.
I kind of do. That's right. Fight, people.
Yeah. But I think this is probably given a rise from all the high profile cases of NFL players and NHL players that are suffering from these. And that I always forget his name. I mean, it's kind of a good thing because he was a murderer, but that I think he was a football player and he had severe multiple concussions. And then he developed that even more advanced stage.
The CTE?
Yeah, that
was
thing.
Was it Aaron Hernandez?
Yes. And then he murdered people.
So people are like, oh, well, he's just a gangster. He's just this. And it's like, well, yeah, he had a horrible upbringing. Also, he had multiple concussions.
Yeah.
You look at like one of the nicest dudes in the world, Junior Seau, football player.
Yeah.
When he unfortunately committed suicide, which is really, really sad. He shot himself in the chest, and I know this is really graphic. I'm so sorry, but like,
trigger warning if anyone's
really, but like, it's terrible. But he did that because he wanted to preserve his brain, because he knew that there was something wrong. And when they worked on his brain, he's like, yeah, he had CTE from the.
Didn't Aaron Hernandez do the same thing? He donated his brain.
I believe so. Yeah,
because CTE, like, multiple concussions, multiple head injuries and brain injuries, your brain will physically change. Yes. You can change personalities. You can lose all sorts of impulse control. Like,
oh my God. Yeah. Impulse control is a weird thing with me. It was a weird thing back in the day. It kind of still is sometimes.
I think it's your frontal lobe, right? That controls your impulse control. I think that is. It's the front part. I mean, they've had, people like a Law and Order did an episode on this. Law and Order, SVU. But it's like someone couldn't stand trial because from multiple head injuries, they lost the ability to have that filter and to make impulse controls. And so, yes, they murdered and raped someone, I mean, that's rough. But like they said, like this guy couldn't control it physically. Right. His brain wouldn't let him. That thing that we have in our brain, it was just like, it's kind of like a computer. If you can only drop a computer so many times that's true.
before it starts doing weird things.
Starts fritzing.
It's the same thing with like your brain. You can only be hit. It can only be bruised and battered so many times before it starts doing weird things.
Exactly. So I think because we're having all these high profile things and a lot of people are really into football and hockey and they're seeing the repercussions.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's why that's coming up more into our pop culture about head injuries. And we're now starting to see that manifest in our film and TV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's all right. It's terrible that these things happen, but it's beautiful that like it's actually being represented correctly. And it's actually opening up people's eyes. People are like, wait a minute. Iron Man had PTSD. He wasn't in a war. He kind of in a war.
Oh, he was kind of a prisoner of war.
He was. He saw things.
Yep.
It was.
I mean, it was a retconned origin story for him, but for MCU Iron Man,
it was actually brilliant. I love.
No, I liked what they did, and that like kickstarted Robert Downey Jr.'s career again, and it was amazing, right? What?
You know, what was really cool
what?
In the original Iron Man, like when he was like
the cartoons or the
Iron Man movie.
Okay,
he would always kind of like grab his left arm.
Yeah.
And then like it showed like every time it got worse, like he's then up in space and he's holding his left arm. It always comes back.
That's like commitment to character. I respect that.
10 years.
Yeah.
And they still have these little details. It's the details. Separates good from great.
Exactly. So what we're going to talk about today is all of our theories that we have for this influx of nerd overload coming in spring. Right as I turn 30, guys, I'm going to literally be crawling to 30, sobbing and crying over my favorite show.
Yes. 18-year-old Lauren, because you look like a teenager, is turning 30.
Aww.
Oh, you look like a baby.
May. I will be out of the country, but we will still have a virtual up.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have Quantum Realm episodes.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. So, what should we discuss first?
We should discuss how often you're gonna get tipsy and call me.
Oh my God! Stop it!
So much fun.
Stop it! That's for another episode.
All right. So, quick. So, obviously, I want to talk about Marvel because I love Marvel. I'm very excited about Captain Marvel. I mean, her last name is Marvel.
I only really liked Captain Marvel because Rogue absorbed her powers.
That's actually a really, really cool story. Like, I really hope that's like a thing. All right. So my theory is I don't really have a theory about Captain Marvel.
Wait, her last name is not Marvel.
Marvel.
It's Carol Danvers.
Yeah. But the character.
Excuse you.
Actually, it's not Marvel. It's Marvel.
Wow.
She's named after Marvel, the Kree, who trained her and she got her powers from. And so she was like, in honor of him, she's like, oh, I'm going to call myself Captain Marvel.
Except her name's Carol Danvers. Continue.
Why gotta be the stealer of joy?
Because you were incorrect. Buzzer.
Oh, is your favorite Warren G song Regulate?
All right, go ahead. Okay, so what is your theory for Endgame?
For my theory for Endgame.
Did you get what I sent you? I sent you some photos where it was like proving the time warp theory.
No.
Because you don't check.
Nobody saw it. I saw it, but nobody saw.
So go ahead, do your theory.
so I was reading somewhere where it says that she can time travel, which is really weird to me. But I don't think it's necessarily her time traveling. I think it's her maybe, I don't know, energying her way through the quantum realm. Oh, I did see that. I didn't respond. Damn it.
It's okay.
So there is going to be a shit ton of time travel.
Yeah.
So much. If you notice, because, we look at photos and the internet and stuff.
A lot of leaked photos. And again, though, Marvel has done this in the past where they have leaked false photos and false theories.
Marvel, those guys are genius.
They're good.
So, but in a lot of the photos, they have this thing on their hand, on their wrist, and they're saying it's kind of like a time travel device. And if you think about it, if all of them, so they're going to reenact the Battle of New York. Now, are they actually time traveling or is it barf?
What's barf?
You remember that thing where Iron Man would go back and see his family?
Oh,
it was called barf, like the acronym.
Oh yeah.
Is it they're just like reliving, like seeing it to see if they see something different, or are they actually going back in time and doing things? So a theory is there's going to be several different alternate universes where they pull the Avengers from.
Right, the ones that are missing.
Yes.
So I was on Tumblr and I saw a couple different photos. So, and again, these could be real, these could be fake. Yeah. So one of the ones is one I sent Joe, which was a photo of Thor in his full red cape. And I believe he still had his long hair.
He did.
Leading in a muzzled Loki.
Right.
Right. So I was like, okay, Loki's back. Even if it's for a flashback, I'm okay with that.
Loki had that at the end of the Battle of New York.
Yes.
When he took him back.
Exactly. So I'm okay for Loki to come back in a flashback. Cool beans. The next photo in the series was a photo of there were two separate photos. One photo was of RDJ with kind of like in like black paramilitary gear. And he had, it almost looked like he had frosted tips, like blonde tips to his hair.
Yeah.
Right. And he was looking pretty young.
It's very 90s.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is a new RDJ. But then and it looks like it's the same room. There is another photo of RDJ wearing the Black Sabbath shirt and looking much older with all brown hair. And I was like, oh, what if it's like, is this the paradox? Like where you see the two people from multiverses?
Oh,
Like I think maybe the Avengers of this timeline go back using the time stone, quantum realm, like go Ant-Man, right? Or Captain Marvel, whoever it is. They go back into an alternate reality and maybe they're, like you said, they're gathering the Avengers.
Right.
So I would love to see two Caps go at it because you have Cap in his old uniform again.
Yeah. Right?
And
he has
the
a shield.
Spandex one. Yeah.
And he has a shield.
I know. And I think the stealth suit is like the sexiest suit ever. I want that suit back.
Hey, I'm very comfortable in my own sexuality and skin. That's a very sexy suit. I agree with you wholeheartly.
He looks so fucking hot. My God, that Dorito body.
That's
it was, right? He's called a Dorito.
I think you just broke me. So that leads into one of my older theories.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I think Captain America is going to do his thing. And then at the end of it, just be like, all right, guys, I'm going to go in this timeline and live my life with Peggy Carter.
And Bucky.
Well.
As a polyamory.
Holy Jesus Lord. Fetch.
Well, or like I said, that we get an end scene at the end of Endgame where Cap didn't go back in time, but they brought everyone back, right?
Oh, I have a further theory.
No. And remember what I said is that Bucky and Steve are going to be in Wakanda watching a sunset with their pet goats.
That's so...
Marvel, commit to the homosexual love, okay?
Real
just
quick.
Go for it. There's no shame. The world is ready, okay? Just no homo it.
Lauren, real quick. That's so specific.
Yes.
You're talking about the goats?
Because if you watch the end scene when he's the white wolf in Wakanda, Bucky has goats.
Yeah.
He has goats.
I'm sure. And again, Fetch, I'm sure will happen in one timeline. It might
Marvel,
happen.
just do it. Give it to us. Fan service.
So dig this. So this is like a side theory, which I think is super, super relevant.
Okay.
So they're messing with time now, right? This is a Doctor Strange theory. How did Doctor Strange, the movie, end? It ended with him using the time stone and a time loop on Dormammu.
Yes.
So if they're messing with time, or if the time stone is no longer a thing, if it gets destroyed, so those time loops are no longer a thing. That frees Dormammu.
I was going to say, do you think Dormammu's coming?
Dormammu might be just as big a character as Thanos, just in a different way. More
Who
like
do you
the
think would win?
Oh, man. I think Dormammu. Without the Infinity Stone, he's done.
Well, yeah, and Thanos is weakened.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's got a big hole in his chest.
I kind of want Nebula to just go stab him.
Nebula's cool. I really like her a lot, but I think it has to be Thor, Iron Man, Cap. That's it. It can only be those three.
Well, you got to think about it. So, who, all of the Marvel movies, whose actual character arc has it been about? It's been about Iron Man. So it would make sense because basically you have two realists, two pragmatists, Thanos and Iron Man.
Right.
And
they were both cursed with the gift of knowledge.
True. But on top of it, they're both looking at cold rationality as ways to solve their problems.
Right.
Whereas like Cap is looking at Steve Rogers is looking at it more, I think someone classified as a romanticism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel that in my bones.
Because that's him, right? His is about standing your ground, you know, your values and integrity, saving as many people as you can.
Right.
Not
we don't trade lives.
Yeah. But I still think that was a very stupid thing, but
I also think it's foreshadowing that he's going to trade his life for the
I know. I think it makes sense. He does have to die. It's the end of the contract, though. Apparently, he's been brought back to direct some of the Marvel TV shows.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Because Chris Evans has been going into
the one with Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yes, and then Stucky will happen. Oh my God. Yes. Can you just imagine Chris Evans? He's like, all right,
no,
Sebastian.
We can't.
All right, Sebastian, just lean in a little bit more. Okay, perfect. Like, I'm okay with that.
By the way, I'm really happy that you're not directing these things because there would be no clothing on any of the superheroes.
Please tell me how that is a problem for anyone. I think I could make like $20 billion.
You know what? I agree with that. Yes, you could.
Yes.
It was, jeez. I would not watch any of those movies, though.
You would still pay money for it.
I might.
You would pay money to say you've seen it once, even if you haven't seen it.
So I think they're messing with all the Infinity Stones. And in the comic books, like sometimes they break, they shatter. So all of the things that happen, they like kind of undo. I don't think.
Do they undo?
Yeah, I don't think the Soul Stone thing. I think there are some souls trapped in the Soul Stone, but I think most of the people are dead.
Well, I think what would be really cool. So like the people who were in direct vicinity of Thanos, so the Avengers, of the ones that are still there, I think the person that is tied closest to them of the remaining alive ones is trapped in the Soul Stone.
Oh.
Right. So like for Steve, it would be Bucky. For Iron Man, it is Peter Parker. Right. For Wanda, right. She is Vision's stone. Right. Who else? For I don't know. But like, I feel like maybe that's something as like important people that are basically soulmates, platonic, romantic, familial, you know, whatever you want to label that. Maybe they're trapped in there with Gamora because of the significance. And so maybe that's how some of these of our favorite characters are going to die. They're going to trade themselves.
Is it weird that I hope Gamora stays dead?
No, because I do too.
Because I love her. I do
too, but
I think she's amazing. But I think there absolutely has to be consequence.
Yeah, some people actually have to die.
It can't just be like, oh yeah, and then they got the Infinity Gauntlet and they made one of their own, and now everything is good again.
So who's gonna die? Who's going to be dead by the end of Endgame?
Oh, damn it! So it either has to be it either has to be Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or Captain America, or both.
I think both of them have to die.
I would think it would be both.
It's the end of an era. It's, you know.
But I think Cap, when he dies, I'm doing quote fingers, I think he's just going to end up going in a different timeline.
Or his death can be the passing of the mantle. Like it's the death of Captain America, but not of Steve Rogers.
Oh, yay.
Right?
I like that.
And then he lives in Wakanda with Bucky and Ghost.
Oh, wow. I still like the time travel theory where he goes to like an alternate thing.
I'm okay with that.
And he's chilling with like Peggy Carter.
Polyamory.
And then he's going to like tell Peggy Carter, oh yeah, by the way, totally kissed your niece.
Yeah,
it's really very strange, right?
It was so that was totally no homo.
It was
Russo's, Marvel, don't be scared of homosexual love. Make it Brokeback.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Marvel.
I can't quit you. Make it. That is basically, I'm with you till the end of the line, right? Is I can't quit you.
I think it's going to be, that's, again, Marvel After Dark. I don't know.
You know, there actually is a porn about Captain America, Black Widow, Nick Fury, and I haven't seen it, but
okay. Number one,
I've seen the clip, not the clip, but like the poster for it.
First off, I don't believe you.
No, actually, I haven't seen it. I really haven't.
It's like I haven't seen it in its entirety. I haven't seen it from the beginning.
No, so Tumblr was like, hey, there's actually a porn about Stucky. And we're like, and so we're looking down the feed.
Okay, just again, why is this what you're looking up?
I wasn't. It came up on my feed for like hashtag Stucky.
Cool. That's cool. Again, I have feeds too. None of this stuff pops up on my feed.
Are you on Tumblr?
No,
Tumblr.
But I've checked Tumblr out.
Yeah, no, Tumblr's all about porn, except now they've had the big porn cleanse of 2019.
So why are you on Tumblr if it's all about?
No,
you know what?
Let's digress. If anyone knows Tumblr, you know it's great for fandom, but there's lots of porn bots, right? Wow. So, but now there's not. They've cleansed Tumblr. Moving on.
Yeah,
we digress.
They've cleansed it from Stucky. Well, what about Black Panther? Black Panther has to come back.
Or Shuri.
Well, so I did. I had that theory, but like, there's no way it's going to happen, especially now that we saw the Spider-Man.
Or what if they bring back Killmonger?
I hope they do. There was talk that he might be in. Somebody let something slip.
Yeah, I don't think he is though. I don't know if Michael.
Flashback. Flashback. No, he's in the heart-shaped herb realm, the vibranium realm.
Ooh.
Because he was technically a Black Panther.
That is true.
He had the power of the Black Panther. So I think he's going to be there with like his spiritual people. Like,
maybe he can like.
He's hanging with like T'Chaka, being like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry I was a dick."
What if all these people who live in these other realms, what if they like knock on all the other realms doors and it's like, hey, we're going to take down Thanos and reverse this. And they're just like, send your energy.
They're just knocking on other realms. What for? Like, oh, excuse me. I need a half a cup of sugar.
No, they're more like, can I tell you about our Lord and Savior Thanos? Like, I don't know.
Well, who knew that these realms, they're like Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah, no. The Avengers are going to be the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the realms are going to be those doors where they knock and ring the doorbell and they try to ignore you.
I can kind of get that, like, because the Avengers are going to be going around recruiting.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, hey guys, so you heard about the snap, right?
Yeah. So maybe they're going to go like to Killmonger and be like, yo, can you help us? And he'll be like, no, bro. And then he'll be like, okay, wait. Yeah.
I think with Marvel, they didn't have the ball. Not that they didn't have the balls. It's just something really, really difficult to pull off.
But they were trying to read the social environment.
No, for sure. But I thought like, all right, all these people died.
Yeah.
Leave them dead.
I agree.
Even though Black Panther, it's like, oh, well, Black Panther just made $1 billion. It's like, yeah, but now you can have Shuri taking over the mantle of Black Panther.
And you have a female queen.
You have a female queen.
Badass.
Right. And ass kicker. On top of that, you can have wait, who else snapped? Who else disappeared?
Bucky.
That doesn't matter. No, I'm just kidding. I love Bucky. But why did his arm disappear?
Sam Wilson disappeared.
Why did Bucky's arm disappear?
Because it's vibranium.
Yeah, but it's not part of him.
It is part of him.
Is it?
Maybe he's accepted it and it's a.
Oh, and then the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
yes.
You could just bring in a brand new roster of Guardians.
Star-Lord, stay dead.
You could bring in a brand new roster of Guardians.
Spider-Man died.
But you could bring in the Miles Morales
except we've already seen clips of freaking Tom Holland. I love him.
I kind of wrote it.
Yeah.
I do love him too.
Who else disappeared?
Vision didn't disappear.
Vision and Scarlet Witch.
He just done died. So Scarlet Witch, I don't think she'll for sure be back.
Yeah,
obviously,
I agree.
She gets her show, which that's kind of a prequel thing, but I love her. Vision, I have a theory that
Sam Wilson died. He's the new Cap. He is.
He could be.
Well, it's either going to be Bucky or Sam, but Bucky's already becoming White Wolf.
I'm going with Bucky.
No, I think
they're just using White Wolf as like a name. I don't think they're going to go like full on White Wolf.
No, I think they're going to pass the mantle of Captain America to.
You know what's really funny?
Falcon.
We're very passionate about Marvel because we're like, oh, our theories. We're going to do Game of Thrones and Star Wars. And so I think we're going to eventually, at some point on an episode, get into Star Wars and Game of Thrones. We are passionate.
We
Marvel
still have
people.
time. We can just brush on.
We're gonna go like ninja quick. So
yeah, we're gonna pivot.
we're gonna pivot away from
Marvel.
Whatever Lauren was talking about. With like,
Stucky.
Yeah, whatever you guys are doing, don't Google what she says. Make sure you have a virus protector on your computer.
Oh my God. Anyways, you don't watch porn.
So there's not Stucky porn. So
you should start.
There's a lot of Star Wars stuff coming out.
Yes.
Me being a big Star Wars dude, I'm not like a big star, like I'm just a normal sized Star Wars human being, but like I'm a large Star Wars fan.
Yes.
I have Yoda on my arm.
Yes.
I do. I have the Deathly Hallows on my shoulder, but with a lightsaber instead of a wand because I'm that big of a Star Wars fan.
And what's coming out? Episode 9.
Episode 9, which I really kind of hope.
And they just posted, I think yesterday, it was the wrap of the final, or maybe it was a few days ago. I just saw the last photo they took from episode 9. Filming.
Oh, and they were all hugging and kissing.
It was Rey, Finn, and Poe. They were like hugging.
Oh, Poe's my bro. I love that dude.
Oscar Isaac?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He was a terrible apocalypse, but he's an awesome actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited about all that. Like I wasn't disappointed in The Last Jedi, but I wasn't really happy with The Last Jedi. So this is
You're one of those fanboys that just can't be fucking satisfied.
I can be. I was satisfied with Rogue One.
Most people were.
Yeah. Like, so I was really not disappointed, but again, I was like,
underwhelmed.
I was barely whelmed with what was going on in the first two movies. I was like, yeah, they were cool. The first one was just a rehash of the original trilogy.
Yes.
Which I completely understand.
Yes.
I took a
They're
step back.
They're bringing it to a new generation.
You have to. And you have to remind all the old generation who was like, man, Jar Jar Binks was terrible. You have to remind them why Star Wars is so amazing.
Did I ever tell you what the Jar Jar Binks theory is?
The Darth Jar Jar?
Yeah.
Darth Jar Jar is amazing.
I wanted Darth Jar Jar to be real.
If you guys go on YouTube and look up the Darth Jar Jar theory, it's brilliant.
It makes so much sense. It just sounds like they like lost the gusto and rewrote it.
It sounds ridiculous. But if you really think about it, it makes so much sense. And it would be brilliant. Almost like how the Joker, the Jared Leto Joker is actually Jason Todd.
Yes.
It makes so much sense, but it makes too much sense.
Yeah. That's why we're like,
you're like, oh, that's brilliant. Oh, no, it's too good. Real. Obviously, they're not going to do that.
Exactly.
So I'm going in to every Star Wars thing like I always do. Open armed, loving, caring. And I hope they take care of me. I just really, really hope they take care of me. Solo didn't take care of me, but it was a decent movie. It was okay. It didn't deserve as much hate. I can see all the issues. Yeah. Still very enjoyable. Yeah. So I'm going in. Come on, Star Wars. Take care of me.
How are they going to resolve Episode 9?
Luke's got to be a Force ghost.
Okay, but
he has to.
But who's he going to help or guide?
I think he's going to help Rey.
I wanted him to help Kylo.
I wanted him to help Kylo too, but I think Kylo is just. I hope he just ends up being a bad dude. I hope they don't. I hope they don't do the Darth. I hope they don't do the Darth Vader thing. I hope he's just like, yeah, sorry guys, I'm a dick.
No, because there was a theory that he is reverse Anakin. Mm-hmm. So you know how Anakin's story was the fall to the darkness,
right?
Where his is the opposite. It's coming to the light.
I just hope they land the plane.
Okay.
I hope they just land it correctly because it's either going to be, oh man, you know the series had some ups and downs, but it really
Episode 9 came together.
Episode 9, they landed the plane. Or it's going to be like, you know what, this trilogy wasn't as good as I really felt it would. There's a lot of hype.
It's better than the prequels, but most things are.
Nothing is worse than the prequels. Nothing. The worst movie you can think of is 10 times better than that. The prequels.
That's not true.
It is absolutely true. But what I'm really, really excited about, aside of the Episode 9, is the TV show, The Mandalorian.
I'm lukewarm on it. Oh, did the poor fanboy get shocked?
Yes. I'm a big Boba Fett fan because I'm literally, we're in the NeuroNerds right now
Boba
recording.
Fett.
And I have Jango Fett directly behind me. Yes. It's a giant poster.
Yes.
It's super dope. I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm going to post it. So anyway, so you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm very, very excited about The Mandalorian because like, I just love the lore. I'm taking a picture and I'm looking ridiculous. And I want to know more. So I watched Star Wars Rebels, which is really, really cool. And they got a lot of backstory with like Boba Fett and the Mandalorians and how they work and their everything. And it's really, really cool. And I'd love to see that on screen. I just love to see that on screen. I'm a big fan of that. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, I'm going to go back to episode. What I would actually really like to see is for Grey Jedi to become canon.
Well, they're working on it. This whole thing is like leaning towards that.
No, I know. But I would love to see it actually become canon via the films where it's like Rey. I'm not looking for good to win over evil. I'm looking for Rey and Kylo to basically balance the Force.
I'm looking for Rey and Kylo to turn into the Punisher.
I'm looking for Rey and Kylo to hook up.
What if they're brother and sister?
They're not.
But what if?
But they're not.
All right, no.
Well, wait. So even if it's incest, hello, Leia and Luke, and then we got Game of Thrones. Perfect segue. But Game of Thrones.
That's a very, very, very good segue.
Right? Incest is the best cess.
Jeez, look, that can't be on a shirt. So with Star Wars, the last thing I was really looking forward to, but it's taken 2 movies and now it just doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
The Knights of Ren.
Yes, I believe that the Knights of Ren was abandoned, that storyline. When I was watching Last Jedi, I really felt that the last act was a really fast rewrite.
Yes.
It felt like something else was supposed to happen. Like with Rey leaving, like I don't think that was supposed to happen. I feel like there was some sort of showdown that was supposed to happen on, is it Ahch-To or whatever?
Yeah.
Because of course, you know, again, photos that got leaked from people shooting far away was that, you know how when she lands there and she looks down into the water, there was the X-Wing,
Yes.
right? So then there was a leaked photo of a grassy hill, right? That looked like it was part of the island. And the X-Wing was on the grass. And there was dark figures standing around it.
The Knights of Ren.
And so I was like, ooh, what if there was a Knights of Ren storyline that got abandoned? Or the studios, Disney said, it's getting too dark or something like that. Which is bullshit. But I feel like something was supposed to happen with the Knights of Ren. And which I think is so cool. The Knights of Ren are awesome because I feel like the Knights of Ren would be loyal to Kylo and not the dark side, not to Snoke.
No. So because I think they're all the younglings.
Yeah.
That left with it, that he took along with him.
And so like I feel like it like a cooler storyline, which has been done in a lot of fan fiction, and I read that, is that when Kylo tried to break away from the First Order, either from Snoke or afterwards and with the First Order, that the Knights of Ren followed him and he became his own like splinter cell, just trying to escape the First Order.
Right.
And then somehow kind of got hooked up with Rey as she's trying to escape things. Like, I feel like that was more of like a, like, let us be two, like, we're like, she's trying to escape the yoke of the Jedi.
Right.
He's trying to escape the First Order. And then they kind of.
And what does that make?
Gray
Jedi.
And so, like, I felt like maybe then they could have taken down the First Order and the rebellion.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To start like a new world order. But I'm like really sad that they kind of threw away that story.
Disappeared. It sucks because it was like such a powerful thing. Hey, am I the only one when Adam Driver, when Kylo Ren took off his helmet, am I the only one that was like, wow, he has really big facial features?
In the first movie, I was like,
it was like really, it was aggressively just
like
in
really
your face.
Fluffy hair.
Very big.
Very fluffy hair. I respect that.
A lot of nose.
A lot of nose, a lot of eyes.
A lot of eyes.
But like, it was a little bit jarring at first. I was like, and like some people are like, oh, you're thinking he's pretty. And I'm like, no, it's just jarring.
No, it's
a lot.
A lot all at once.
But you know, then it grows on you. You're like, oh, okay, that's all right. And because Adam Driver's a great actor.
He is. He's really, really good.
And then the second movie, we got Body.
Oh my God.
He's hot. He's ex-military. He's Adam Driver.
He is ex-military. That's like a Marine, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, like he was like hardcore.
And so, and he's got a body to match. And I'm like, yes, those high-waisted pants were a travesty because we didn't get to see all the muscles. But he was.
Maybe
I am objectifying
Maybe
him.
it was holding in his gut like Elvis, like the old school high pants.
Stop that.
Hey, I'm bringing. You know what I'm doing? I'm making all these thoughts gray.
Oh,
right?
That's cute.
See, it's like gray Jedis. It's the yin and yang of life.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, let's move on to Game of Thrones so we can just hit what we said we were going to hit and then, you know.
So Game of Thrones.
Season 8.
With the javelin throwing Night King.
Yeah. So is there anyone out there who's like not looking forward to season 8, but you're going to watch it out of obligation?
Everybody.
That is me.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to watch it because you have to.
Yeah. But
because we live here on Earth.
I don't know about you guys, but I have been disappointed since season 5 of the writing, of the plot holes.
There's a lot of plot holes.
A lot of plot holes. And what's happened is since they've what do you call it? The brothers that are producing it, since the producers have ran out of source material because George R. R. Martin has not been publishing.
He's like, I'm old.
Yeah. But so because of that, like the show writers have to try to make it good and they're not as good.
They're patchworking as best they can.
But they're also focusing on plot and they're trying to rush it along, which makes it really disappointing because now it just feels like any other like fantasy TV show.
Hey, no matter what, they cut off Ned Stark's head.
No, that was George R. R. Martin.
No, I know. They did that. It doesn't matter who it is. This series did that. I will follow it until the bitter end.
Well, because what they were trying to say was this isn't your normal TV show.
Not.
This is not your normal fantasy show. Actions have consequences and the good guys don't win.
Oh my God, like the first...
Except, what did we get all last fucking season?
What?
Jon Snow had much plot armor, right? So much plot armor. I'm still pissed about Gendry and his Usain Bolt status running and the fact that something that should have taken 2 fucking weeks for him to run to the wall to get a raven to Daenerys down at Dragonstone and for her to fly her ass up there, it should have taken 2 weeks. Someone did the math.
They have magic and all kinds of stuff. Why didn't they just like magically whip up like an iPhone?
Seriously. Or easy way to solve the problem, though would have still taken forever, is if they'd taken a raven with them beyond the wall, beyond the fact that that was the most idiotic plan ever. And Tyrion Lannister has lost everything that makes him Tyrion because he's now an idiot. And Varys has lost all his shine. And Peter Baelish died like a bitch. Like, I mean, like all the good characters have been like neutered.
Awesome.
Oh my God. I am all about good writing. What have they done to my favorite characters?
Speaking of neutering, then there was the dude with no testicles. What's that guy's name? The bald guy, chubby
That's Varys. I've already talked about Varys.
Yeah. Because you said no testicles, I assumed.
Well, like, okay, he's literally neutered, but like
literally.
But like that's what they've done to the series. So like a lot of us that are hardcore fans of like the writing of the show and the extra steps the show took to show how it takes time to travel across a country the size of Africa. Like
the first 4 seasons.
Yeah.
I would tell everybody who hadn't seen it. I was like, oh, I just heard about Game of Thrones. I'm going to watch it. I was like, cool. Don't fall in love with anyone.
Yeah, and that's true. Don't fall in love with characters.
And every single person did the same thing. Dude, I fell in love with this character. How did they kill this person? Basically, don't fall in love with anybody unless it's Jon Snow. Because this dude's like the Teflon Don. Nothing stops this dude.
Yeah, I got issues with that.
And it doesn't make any sense in like the world of I don't know.
Westeros.
I was going to say Tolkien. It's not Tolkien at all.
World of Ice and Fire. Okay, so what is your theory? How is the series going to end?
It has to be Bran. Bran has to do something because Bran is clearly the Night King. Clearly. That's just it. So he's traveling in and out of time. He's got to figure out a way to basically stop himself. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it's going to happen.
So George R. R. Martin himself has said that the end of Game of Thrones or the end of A Song of Ice and Fire is a bittersweet ending. Okay. Mm-hmm. So in the books, I think it's going to happen different because it can't end in some cataclysmic war. George R. R. Martin was a conscious objector or something like that to the Vietnam War. He's also very anti-war, which is why he shows so much violence in his books and in the TV show was trying to show the horrors of war. So for something to end in some cataclysmic good versus evil battle and then, have good win, it would be completely the antithesis to his message in the books. So I don't know if the show is going to follow that. But he has said that both endings are going to be bittersweet. And even Maisie Williams, I think, she said something about that too. Like no one's going to be happy at the end of the series.
I kind of like that. I agree. Not that I appreciate it. Yeah,
like that's a better realistic. No one's satisfied. That's a better realistic ending.
I'm still really, really happy that they murdered Ned Stark, even though I love Ned Stark. That was my dude.
Executed.
I still have that feeling of, wow, they actually did that.
Yep.
And even in season 3, 4, 5, wait, he's really not coming back.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
This isn't Marvel.
I still feel that.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, they really just murdered the best character.
Yep.
I just think that's crazy. And I love that. So I really think it's going to be Bran fighting himself.
I'm hoping, like what I see in my mind, I think Daenerys is going to die. I think Jon Snow is going to die.
Oh, yeah, I kind of hope.
I hope so too. I love Daenerys. Daenerys is one of my favorite characters. Jon Snow. Right?
Jon Snow, you don't know nothing, Jon Snow. That was a horrible accent.
I know.
I stick by it.
Daenerys, we've seen she's not really a queen. Like Dario Nahara says, she's not a queen. She's a conqueror.
Yeah, and in real life, she is a terrible actress.
Anyways,
watch Terminator Genisys.
But the thing is Daenerys' closest ties are to the Dothraki. The Dothraki basically live in a totalitarian dictatorship, which is what she's used to, which is fine. I totally respect that. And she still is very close to the Dothraki as she should be, right? Because she is a Khaleesi.
Right.
So that doesn't translate well into like a monastic kind of like monarchy, not monastic, monarchy. Exactly. So I could see her conquering Westeros and then leaving, or conquering Westeros
and then getting taken out.
Yeah, something like that. So, but I think she's going to die. One of the theories is that she is going to fulfill the prophecy or the story of Nisa. Joe probably doesn't know this. This is like deep dark. Like, what is it? Like deep dark fandom.
She's speaking Dothraki people. I don't understand.
Nisa. So there's Azor Ahai. He was the last hero that stopped the last long night. And part of it was they had a magic sword called Lightbringer. And in order to forge the sword to... Stop it. The Azor Ahai took the sword Lightbringer and put it through his wife's heart, Nisa, to temper the blade, and it became Lightbringer, and it was what helped turn the tide of war.
That is dark.
So there's two theories. One, that Daenerys herself is Nissa, and so Jon Snow's going to have to kill her. Mm-hmm. There's another theory that I kind of like, is that Viserion, her dragon that died, was the sacrifice.
Maybe that she's the living embodiment of the light sword.
I mean, there's that. There's argument that Jon Snow is
just came up with that one myself.
I know. There's an argument that Jon Snow is actually the embodiment of Lightbringer, where Rhaegar was Azor Ahai, and Lyanna Stark was Nissa, and so the literal Lightbringer was the what was produced of them, which was Jon Snow. So he's not Azor Ahai. He is Lightbringer.
Is it like Nissa and Cult Jam?
Yeah,
Only anybody who's ever listened to 80s music understands that reference.
Continuing. So I could see Daenerys dying. I kind of want Jon Snow to die. I'm kind of over him.
Yeah.
Nothing Jon Snow. I think Arya just needs to die. Like, her TV storyline was absolute trash.
Her and her many faces need to go.
It was absolute trash. The book is a lot better. I kind of want Tyrion and Sansa to be like the ones left over, and they're kind of ruling all of Westeros.
So unlikable to me.
I agree. In the TV show, she is
just gonna destroy the X-Men franchise, which is good because it's now back with Marvel. But man, Phoenix looks awful.
But I'm just saying, like, that's who I could see at the end of the day. I would really like to, because they were married at one point, then non-consummated, but they were married, and then I could see, like, if all the heroes died, all that's left over at the end of the battle, even if, like, let's say the Night King is pushed back, Tyrion and Sansa are like left to pick up the pieces and to rule what's ever left. I could deal with that.
They took out my man Hodor. I'm done.
Hold the door.
Hold the door. Hold the door. Hold the door.
Do you have any other theories about Game of Thrones before we wrap it up?
Oh man, you know what? There are so many characters. There's just so many. It's so many.
I think someone did the math, and there's like 400 like named characters.
It's crazy.
There might be more. Don't quote me on that.
And literally, there's like, out of at least a fourth of those are like main characters.
Yep.
It's just too much. It's too much. We talk about the MCU being so big. Pales in comparison. Pales.
All right, guys. And on that note.
So on that awesome, nerdy, incredible note, we are at the end of, getting close to the end of a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
This should be episode 52.
52.
We've been on air, online, on podcasting for a year.
In the ether?
In the ether?
For a year. We've been doing this. We started this out helping ourselves because we're selfish.
Yeah.
We were helping ourselves through our own recovery, and it's turned into this thing where we just have like this incessant need to like help others, let you guys know that you're not alone, and it's been this beautiful journey, and I've gotten to know this beautiful, incredible person that sits across from me and threatens me and kicks me. And like, when I always joke, that's like, I fear for my physical safety. She literally kicked me twice today. So I just want to get that on record.
Okay.
I was assaulted.
I will admit that I kicked him.
Twice.
With shoes on.
Twice with shoes on. So, it's been an amazing, wild ride. It's been fun. And I'm looking forward to see like what we can do in this next year.
And here's a slight teaser. We're going to have a super extra special episode coming up for the next episode to kick off our second year. You don't want to miss it. We can't tell you any more about it, but it's super special.
Yeah, if I say anything more, she's going to kick me in the face. I always want to give a big shout out to our sponsor Avid for, sponsoring the show and
making it sound good.
Yeah. Again, we don't sound this good. We sound terrible. Scratchy, awful. Also, a massive, massive thank you to all our patrons on Patreon.
Yes,
we really appreciate all you guys. Like, with your support, we're able to continue to do this. And we also have our initiative, the NeuroNerds Give Back, which is like this beautiful cause, which is great.
And so if you like listening to us, guys, we would really appreciate a review like on iTunes. That helps us grow. It helps us reach new people. But on top of that, it also lets us know what you like about us and how we like to hear the stories you have.
Absolutely. If you guys give us a rating and review, it would be greatly appreciated. And if you guys say, hey, we really like it when Lauren kicks Joe in the knee, like, oh man, I guess I'm gonna have some tougher knees.
And then maybe we'll videotape it. And if you join Patreon, you can actually watch the footage.
Some of our behind the scenes nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
And the NeuroNerds are taking over YouTube pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about the 40-yard high heel dash.
Okay, 40 yards. Okay.
Wait, 20?
We're just going to see if we can get you across the room.
I think I can get across the room.
Yeah. Start placing bets, guys. Start placing bets.
Yeah, legally.
Yeah.
Legally. Also, Lauren's going to teach Joe how to twerk. Hey, I'm really excited about that. Hey, ladies, you guys are excited too.
And then we're gonna also ride bikes at one point.
Oh man, I don't know how to ride a bike.
Neither do I.
Man. Please don't cheat. Oh, really? Yes, that's right.
Sorry. Wow.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this or not. I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning of the episode, but I had a brain injury.
And you know what? That's a perfect bookend and a perfect way to end. This is, we started with I have a brain injury and we ended with I have
full circle, just like Iron Man coming full circle to Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
On that note,
NeuroNerds out.